we are here to play Dark Souls 1, much like the Sekiro playthrough and the Bloodborne playthrough. We're getting ready to do a long playthrough of Dark Souls 1. Those are my 3 favorite games. Sekiro, Bloodborne, and Dark Souls 1. I've really come to appreciate how, like, the levels in these games, except for Sekiro. Sekiro is on its own little shelf, okay? That's how good it is. But, like, rushing bosses in Bloodborne is, like, the worst way to play Bloodborne. Alright? I want you to just hear me out. If you wanted to beat Bloodborne, these are the bosses that you must defeat. Father Gascoigne. Amelia. Shadows. Rom. One Reborn. Mikolash. Wet Nurse. Right? I think that's it. You have to choose between Bloodstarved Beast or Cleric Beast. I'll give the game Cleric Beast. We'll say Cleric Beast, okay? Cleric Beast, Gascoigne, Amelia, all good bosses. Everything after that falls the hell apart. The optional bosses, the DLC bosses, obviously a lot of really good bosses there in Bloodborne. But like the most fun, I think, in Bloodborne is exploring and navigating through groups of enemies in, new areas and stuff. If I say those bosses to you, Bloodborne sounds kind of meh. But if I say Central Yharnam, Old Yharnam, Upper Cathedral Ward, Forbidden Woods, if I give you the names, if I give you the locations, you're like, oh yeah, man, Bloodborne, what a great game. What a great game. Bloodborne. Alright, Dark Souls 1 is very similar, because a lot of these bosses don't hold up. They're not as, you know what I mean? They just don't hold up. Compared to, like, the good Bloodborne bosses, or the good Dark Souls 3 bosses. They don't really hold up that well. But the actual, like, Undead Burg, Lower Undead Burg, Blighttown, Anor Londo, Sin's Fortress, The Woods. All these areas are awesome. Great. You're like, holy shit, what a game this is, Dark Souls 1. So, we're doing these, like, long playthroughs where we can, like, appreciate that kind of stuff. Anyway, this is our build. It doesn't matter our starting class, really. I'm gonna finally make this build I've been wanting to make forever. It needs 40 intelligence, 28 faith, 16 strength. And there's no good starting class. There's no good starting class for that. So we're just gonna go with the generic warrior. Just because I like that starting class. It's pretty good. We are taking the old witch's ring so that we can do some, we can talk to the fair lady. We're gonna, be looking at the lore and all that stuff. The name of our character is the Arbiter. This build is gonna be sort of like a Velka's judge type thing. But what's cool about my interpretation of Dark Souls 1 is that's every character. Every character is essentially just like put here on Earth to do Velka's will, and I'll explain that as we play through the game. Yeah. So that's it. I think that's everything, right? I think that's everything that's gonna happen. Starting class, build, name. Yeah, let's go. Let's do it.
In the age of ancients, the world was unformed, shrouded by fog. A land of grey crags, arch trees, and everlasting dragons. But then there was fire, and with fire came disparity. Heat.
There's nothing.
And cold.
Then there's fire. Now there's heat and cold. Now there's life and death. But this didn't exist just a minute ago.
Of course. Light and dark.
Light and dark just got here. Just got here. And then what happened?
Then from the dark, they came.
Oh, they came from the dark.
And found the souls of lords within the flame. Nito, the first of the dead. The Witch of Izalith and her daughters of Chaos. Gwyn, the Lord of Sunlight, and his faithful knights. And the furtive pygmy, so easily forgotten. With the strength of lords, they challenged the dragons. Gwyn's mighty bullets peeled apart their stone skills. The witches weaved great firestorms. Nito unleashed a miasma of death and disease. And Seath the Scaleless betrayed his own, and the dragons were no more. Thus began the Age of Fire. But soon the flames will fade, and only dark will remain. Even now, there are only embers. And man sees not light, but only endless nights. And amongst the living are seen carriers of the accursed dark side.
That is just a little thing that gets on my nerves when people talk about Dark Souls 1 lore. I can't point to any specific example, but it exists. But like the idea that the gods were there,
Yes, indeed.
before other stuff.
The dark side brands the undead. And in this land, the undead are corralled and led to the north. Where they are locked away to await the end of the world. This is your fate.
Let's go. Northern Undead Asylum. Alright, so for the purposes of this playthrough, we're going to assume a few things. One, no cut content matters. We're only going based on stuff that exists in the game and stuff that exists, in the sequels. We're assuming everything is canon, okay? Everything Everything's canon. Hey, what's up, Rusty? So, yeah, one of the things that, like, irks me about Dark Souls 1 lore is, like, the very first thing the game tells you is, like, there is nothing. Like, the dragons are essentially, like, sentient mineral. They are rock. Like, they're not even alive. They're just, like, big things. You know what I mean? Like, so, then the fire shows up. Why does the fire show up? Who knows? But the fire shows up, and then with the fire comes everything else, including the people who would become gods, who would become lords. Obviously, I guess we're supposed to, like, now that we know how it works, we're supposed to infer that there was something before there was Gwyn and all the others. And eventually, you know, like, you have, like, the Big Bang and the Big Crunch, you know? Like, eventually that's just, like, it's the universe is an accordion being pulled to and from, and you know, as it expands, it creates fire, it creates life, and then that reaches its peak, and then it's supposed to go back towards, as it's going back together, that's like your Age of Dark, and then when it's, like, resting in its neutral state, that's when you have, like, dragons, arch trees, just these things that aren't even really alive anymore. Anyway, we are an undead. We're a zombie. And we got chucked in the Northern Undead Asylum to await, quote, the end of the world. And if you've played Dark Souls 3, the end of the world means a couple different things, which is kind of interesting. Dungeon cell key. What is this? What is this? Key to the dungeon of the Undead Asylum to the north. A mysterious knight, without saying a word, shoved a corpse down into the cell, and on its person was this key. Who was this knight? What was his purpose? There may be no answers, but one must still forge ahead. Alright, let's go. I wonder if we can learn a little something about our person here. A sturdy helm made of iron. Very common type of protective gear. It provides a sound level defense. It is wise to wear a sturdy form of head protection against arrows and other physical threats. Okay. Alright. What about this here sword I got? The hilt of this lost sword was found discarded in the Undead Asylum, only slightly better than one's bare hands and not recommended for extensive use. Be certain to find a replacement quickly. Well, alright, I guess that's what we'll do. What about this ring? An old ring from an old witch, engraved minutely with indecipherable script, but seemingly useless. Oh, okay, well that sounds great. Hey, what's up with this thing you told me about? The dark sign signifies an accursed undead. Those branded with it are reborn after death, but will one day lose their mind and go hollow. Death triggers the dark sign, which returns its bearer to the last bonfire rested at, but at the cost of all humanity and souls. Alright. So, much like the Hunter rune that we got in Bloodborne at the beginning of the game, that moves the whole game along, this item that you cannot discard, this item that is essentially just like a part of your person, the dark sign is that for Dark Souls. The dark sign is like the most, I think, commonly misunderstood thing in the entire game, or the entire series rather. Like, no one, like, the dark sign is like a big deal. You can't tell from this because it just looks like a little ring of fire. But when we saw the dark sign in the cutscene, it was a little more descriptive, and it is absolutely written. It is absolutely like a glyph that's written in the language of the witch of Izalith. Think about what it does. It's triggered by death. It brands you as like a mark of fire, and it returns you to a bonfire where you lose all your souls and humanity. It is, like, without a doubt, 100% like a conspiracy cooked up by Gwyn, the witch, Nito, and probably Seath as well. Like, they were all in on this, like, garbage-ass system that they could use to screw over humans forever. Like, they're all in on it together. That's like the... why that is not like a commonly accepted thing, I will never know. Also, look at this big chunky boy. Look at this big chunky boy. What do you want? What do you want, big chunky boy? You wanna come down here? You wanna fight me? Huh? I'm gonna get you. Wow, I'm gonna get you with my dope-ass sword. I hope you're ready. Oh, I don't do any damage, chat. I don't do any damage. This is a terrible... Oh, there's a door. There's a door. Hey, man. Go away. Bemused, welcome back. Thank you for 10 months. Much appreciated. Now we're back in prison, I guess. Yeah, if you take the time to like really... Ow! I need a shield. Oh, thank God. If you take the time to kill the demon there without running away, you get his hammer. As a little bonus. I got a shield. What are you gonna do about it? Hey, I found a replacement. Widely used standard straight sword, only matched in ubiquity by the short sword. Yeah, right. Yeah, right. Do you know what ubiquitous means? It means you see it everywhere. Yeah, right. Like I see the short sword everywhere. An accessible sword which inflicts consistent regular damage and high slash damage, making it applicable to a variety of situations. I killed that guy and I got some souls. Hey, look, it's that dude. It's that dude that helped us. How'd he get in there? Looks like he fell through the ceiling. Must not be a way for us to get in there to help him out. Seems like he's just laying there, being lazy, but... Oh shit, oh shit, oh shit! I came to help. I came to help on purpose.
Oh, you. You're no hollow. Thank goodness. I'm done for, I'm afraid. I'll die soon, then lose my sanity. I wish to ask something of you. You and I, we're both undead. Hear me out, will you?
Alright, so my homie's like, oh man, this sucks. I got messed up bad. It's not cool. It's real bad. Hey, do me a favor. Would you hear something? And this dude is talking to us like a regular dude, right? Just a normal dude. And I'm like, yeah, man, I'll hear you out.
Regrettably, I have failed in my mission. But perhaps you can keep the torch lit. There is an old saying in my family. Thou who art undead art chosen, and thine exodus from the Undead Asylum maketh pilgrimage to the land of ancient lords. When thou ringeth the bell of awakening, the fate of the undead thou shalt know. Well, now you know. And I can die with hope in my heart. Oh, one more thing. Here, take this. An Estus flask. An undead favorite.
Alright, so my homie said, yeah, bro, I'm in a bad way. Everything sucks. That bridge up there is like totally sus. And, a demon raffle stomped me. LeMayo. Hey, bro. Would you hear this ancient thing my family always says? Yeah, man, I'll hear it. Thou who art undead art chosen. In thine exodus from the Undead Asylum maketh thou way to the... Right? Like, that is not some shit some humans said. Okay? Now, is it something that existed in, like, you know what I mean? Like, is this something that families in Astora probably, like, yes, Absolutely. But there's a reason that it's not worded in, you know, regular old two dudes just hanging out, talking, speak, right? Because it's not real. It's not real. It was made up by the gods. All the gods talk that way. None of the humans talk that way, unless they're like this and that, and you know, like the other. I really like the Estus flask. It tastes good. It makes my wounds go away. It's nice. Also, here's this thing my family used to say: "Thou art those who thine who went in vine, whether to for not thine."
Oh, and this. Now I must bid farewell. I would hate to harm you after death. So go now, and thank you.
So he gave us the Estus flask. It's an undead treasure. These dull green flasks fill with Estus at bonfire. Fills HP. The Estus flasks are linked to the fire keepers. The dark tales also make reference. An emerald flask from the keeper's soul. She lives to protect the flame, and dies to protect it further. Now, oh, rip. He died. I got 100 souls. That dude was like soul level 2. Alvina speaks like that. Alvina does speak like that, and Alvina is there to protect the. She's there to protect the truth of Artorias and the Abyss Walking Covenant, yada yada. Like she's there. She's also like there to like serve the gods. You know what's weird about this armor? Is it doesn't have any poise. You know? It looks like it's got some heft to it. You would think this armor would give you some poise, but it absolutely doesn't. Hey man, I don't guess you'd drop me anything cool, would you? Maybe that chest piece? The helmet? Get the helmet instead. It weighs less. It has the same amount of poise. I'm a little dude with my dork helmet. My dork helmet is the best. I look like a nerd who never goes anywhere. Time to go fight a demon. So if you played Demon Souls, the first boss you fight in Dark Souls 1 is like, hey, get ready for the plunge attack tutorial because that's a new mechanic we have. That block animation against a big hit like that, that's the coolest thing in the world, chat. Oh, you can't do it against that attack. Look how satisfying. Ah, you missed. You nerd. Come here. Come here. Hit me. Ah, how dope is that? That's so good. We got the big Pilgrim's Key, as well as a humanity. The Undead Asylum F2 East Key. Key to the iron bars on the east side of the second floor of the North Undead Asylum. The Undead Asylum is a giant undead prison, segmented by countless iron bars. Even if an undead were to escape from a cell, passage to the other side would not be gained easily. Key to the inner door of the Undead Asylum, main hall. Big key belonging to the chosen undead pilgrim. But this chosen undead knows not what this pilgrimage has in store. And so here the game is telling us that, like, I mean, even if you get out, where are you going to go? And it's true. It's true. Just look at the place. Where are we going to go? Doesn't look like we can go anywhere. The soul of a lost undead. It's fun to think about the plunge attack, you know? Like, we take it for granted because, like, it's in all the games. But, like, if you had never played... I'm sorry. If you had played Demon Souls and then Dark Souls 1 came out, and you were like, oh my god, a new one! And they were like, check it out, you can jump off stuff! You'd be like, yeah! Oh my god, jumping off stuff! Souls are the source of all life, and whether undead or even hollow, one continues to seek them. Humanity is a rare, tiny black sprite found on corpses. This black sprite is called humanity, but little is known about its true nature. If the soul is the source of all life, then what distinguishes the humanity we hold within ourselves? Oh man, we got no way to get out of here, chat. We got no way to leave. If only there was some vengeful goddess out there who could take the form of a big black corvid and fly us away and take us to where we needed to go in order to punish the gods. Here, overlooking the what I assume is the kiln of the first flame. Maybe it is, maybe it isn't, I don't know. But yeah, if only that were a thing. If only that were a thing that we could do. Some sort of pissed off goddess who's
only in the ancient legends
who's here to judge.
One day an undead shall be chosen. Leave the Undead Asylum in pilgrimage to the land of the ancient lords. Lordran.
So the narrator there, she hits us with that reminder of the prophecy, right? And to our character, we're all like, yeah, we're the one. We're the chosen undead. But if you've beat Dark Souls, you know that there's no such thing as a chosen undead. You're all chosen undead. Just somebody get to Gwyn and do the damn thing. However, in all the best stories, the villains are always undone by their own plans. Hoisted by their own petards. And it's true of like the Greek tragedies as well. Except in the Greek tragedies, it's the protagonist. The protagonist is always undone by his own hubris, and then the gods have to swoop in and save him at the last minute. And that's what's happening here. We are undertaking the pilgrimage of the chosen undead, not because it's a real thing, but because Velka is using it as karmic justice on the gods for what they've done to humans. And that's why Velka doesn't have to show up in Dark Souls 2. And Velka doesn't have to show up in Dark Souls 3. Because she did her thing. She did her job. She did what she was supposed to do. The whole game is essentially us just carrying out Velka's wishes of screwing over the gods using their own stupid plans because that's what they get. Thanks for coming. That's the end of the playthrough. I hope you enjoyed it. So in Lordran, we can level up at bonfires. Neat. I guess we'll take a few levels in Vitality, because sure, why not? And we get to enjoy this beautiful Firelink Shrine. Oh, it's the best. This is just the best. This is subjectively, objectively the best. The music's the best. The way it looks is the best. It's. Does anyone disagree? Go ahead. Somebody go ahead. Somebody disagree. You're banned. You're banned forever if you disagree. All the best stories, like Austin Powers and Austin Powers 2. Absolutely love it. Absolutely love it. Hey, what's up with this guy? What are you doing?
Well, what do we have here? You must be a new arrival. Let me guess. Fate of the undead, right? Well, you're not the first, but there's no salvation here. You'd have done better to rot in the Undead Asylum. But too late now. Well, since you're here, let me help you out. There are, actually, 2 bells of awakening. One's up above in the Undead Church. The other is far, far below, in the ruins at the base of Blight Town. Ring them both, and something happens. Brilliant, right? Not much to go on, but I have a feeling that won't stop you. So, off you go. It is why you came, isn't it? To this accursed land of the undead?
So, we were told that in our exodus, we should ring the Bell of Awakening to go to the land of the ancient lords. This dude is like, guess what? There's 2 bells.
Ah, your face. You're practically hollow. I don't know. Going hollow could solve quite a bit. What? Restoring your humanity? Well, there are a few ways to go about it. Collected bit by bit from corpses. Or you can butter up a cleric and get yourself summoned. And the quickest way, although I'd never do it, is to kill a healthy undead and pillage its humanity. Coveting thy neighbor is only human, after all.
Oh man, this world sounds rough.
What are you looking at? Don't try anything clever. You might regret it.
Homie's like, oh yeah, here's how you can become human again. You know, find yourself a cleric and butter him up. Or, you know, kill somebody. And then he's like, hey, what are you looking at?
Hello there. I believe we are not acquainted. I am Petrus of Firelink. Have you business with us? If not, I prefer to keep a distance, if possible. Hello there. I realize that I have requested that we retain our distance, but I also want you to know that it is not meant in ill will. Here, take this, as a token of peace. No, go ahead. It's for you.
Ooh, a copper coin.
Oh my, you again. Oh, I know. How about this? I have to await my companions here anyway. So what if I were to teach you some miracles? Would that please you?
Hell yeah.
Very well. Then first, a covenant with the gods.
Oh yeah, Way of the White Covenant. Let's go. The Way of the White Covenant is actually the most important covenant in the game, chat. I don't know if you know that or not.
Let me share my miracles.
I'll
Only
explain why.
Their ultimate effectiveness will be determined by your efforts and your faith.
This covenant allows us, chat, believe it or not, to learn the best gesture that's ever existed. Thus making it...
Come again. The effectiveness of the teachings depend upon your faith.
the most important covenant in the game, if you can believe it. Did you know that?
Oh, hello. I will teach you miracles. A promise is a promise, after all.
He's like, look, I know I told you to go away, but here's money. Please leave. So he sells some miracles, and he sells talismans. Very nice, very nice. The miracles, Homeward. It's a great miracle cast by advanced clerics. It returns to the last bonfire rested at. It would normally link to one's homeland. Only the curse of the undead has distorted its power and redirecting its casters to bonfires. Or perhaps for the undead, this serves as home? Force, a common miracle amongst cleric knights. It creates a shockwave. Quickly acting miracle inflicts no damage, but propels foes back and defends against arrows. Cleric knights use this miracle when charging into enemy mobs. Seek guidance. Miracle of clerics on an undead mission. Display more guidance from other worlds. Guidance facilitates communication between undead, but their value varies greatly. A balance of faith and wisdom is required. Basically like, hey, yeah, you'll see more of those cool messages everywhere, but you know, don't think that all the messages are there to help you. And then heal. Elementary miracle cast by cleric restores HP. To cast a miracle, the caster learns a tale of the gods and says a prayer to be blessed by its revelations. Heal is the shortest of such miraculous tales. And then Great Heal excerpt borrows from only several verses of Great Heal. As a result, it can only be cast a stark few times. He sells the Talisman, which is a medium for casting miracles of the gods. This one is standard issued to common believers. Equipped to cast miracles. Attune miracles from a scroll at a bonfire. Most miracles have limited numbers of uses. And then the Thorland Talisman, it's a medium for casting miracles of the gods, is only granted to high-ranking Thorland clerics. Has high miracle adjust, which thanks to divine protection, is not dependent upon faith. So, like right off the bat, these Thorland clerics,
Come again.
we learn,
the effectiveness
are
of
not the most
teachings
faithful
depend
bunch.
upon your faith.
But their talisman is still pretty strong, which should give us some insight into how faith and religious organizations act in the world of Dark Souls. If we drop back here, we come across Petrus's little stash here. And in Petrus's stash, we find a Morning Star and a Talisman. We already read the Talisman. But a Morning Star is a hammer with a sharp spike on its pommel. It's one of the more barbaric cleric weapons. Uniquely, this hammer inflicts thrust damage and causes bleeding. I don't think that's accurate. I don't think that's accurate. And cracked red eye orbs. Why on earth would a cleric be an invader, chat? Why on earth? Indeed. And some Lloyd's talismans. Talisman utilized by all Father Lloyd's cleric knights to hunt down the undead. It blocks Estus recovery. In the outside world, the undead are accursed creatures, and Lloyd's cleric knights are widely praised for their undead hunts. This blessed talisman blocks undead recovery, allowing the knights to fight with impunity. So, we learn about maybe the group of people responsible for shepherding us into the Undead Asylum. We were probably hunted down by Lloyd's cleric knights. A homeward bone is a fragment reduced to white ash. Bonfires are fueled by bones of the undead. In rare cases, the strong urge of their previous owner to seek bonfires enchants their bones with a homeward instinct. And then Red Eye Orb. Defeat the master of the world you've invaded to acquire humanity. The cracked Red Eye Orb allows players to temporarily imitate this ability, normally limited to the dark wraiths of Koth. I'm being chased by skeletons. It's nonsense. Ah! Now I know enough about skeletons to know I'm supposed to hit them with blunt damage. And it's working. Oh! Kinda. I want to be a skeleton so bad. Like in Elden Ring, if instead of becoming a cauliflower, I could become a skeleton, that would be the coolest thing in the world. Or just let me make a cool skeleton in the character creator. I don't care. Ah! Hey, I got an Estus. Somebody in another world kindled their bonfire, and I got a free Estus out of it. I love that mechanic. It's great. You can't parry this. Haha. I'm not afraid of you. I'm not afraid of you, skeleton. I got what it takes, baby. They call me the skeleton killer, because I know about skeletons. My guy has deep, intimate knowledge of how skeletons work. It's true. That's his lore, and you can't prove otherwise, chat. Hey, what's up, Paku Pori? He's got skeletons in his closet. That's right, Ewan. That skeleton belongs in a museum. Uh-oh. I think we just broke the game, chat. I think we just found the meta. Ah! Easy peasy. I'm doing great. I'm great at this game. What are you talking about? Oh yeah, that's a good point, Effie. If you made a skeleton guy, it could be immune to status effects like bleed and poison and stuff. That might be a little OP. Maybe you know what I mean? Maybe we don't. Maybe we let him, like, you know. Nice. Do you think bonfires being made out of bones is intentional wordplay? Maybe a little. Bonefire? Look at that! Oh! It's so good! The combat is very simple, but it's so good. The parry mechanic in Dark Souls 1 is so much like the parry mechanic in Sekiro. Like, it's instant. It's an instantaneous, like, parry. Like, as soon as you press the button, you are parrying. And, you know, I recognize that, like, that creates some, balancing issues, sure, because parry becomes a very, very strong mechanic. But, like, in that instance there, where it's like I was fighting one dude and then, like, turned around and, like, parried another guy, like, just in time. That type of gameplay right there is, like, it feels amazing. It's such a good feeling. Get out of here. I seen you. Rubbish. What's up with this rubbish? Has no value. Rubbish with no value. Who in their right mind would bother carrying this around? Perhaps you need help. Does Dark Souls feel rough to play in 2021? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Still one of my favorite games. I'm gonna have a chance to show you guys what I'm talking about here in just a minute with the Black Knight. I wish Dark Souls 2 and Dark Souls 3 had gone more in this direction than the direction they ended up going in. This idea of like, so these regular dudes I'm fighting, you know, like I can interrupt them. And, you know, if they hit me, they interrupt me. And, like, we have to be careful. When we start fighting these, big dudes, like the Black Knights, and we can't stagger them because, like, they're so massive. Like, the gameplay that opens up in that situation is something that From Software didn't really touch on again until they made Sekiro, which is insane. But we'll get to that when we get there. Oh no, they have shields, chat! Oh! I'll kick it! Ah! It worked! Alternatively, we can two-hand our sword. Very simple gameplay. Very simple gameplay. But there's nothing wrong with simple gameplay. Simple gameplay means you can take what you've made and you can apply it to new and different situations. Ow. Ow. You can take it and apply it to new situations as the player progresses and, you know, spice things up with that. But there's nothing inherently wrong with having, like, a simple game. Hey, what's up?
Well now, you seem to have your wits about you, hmm? Then you are a welcome customer. I trade for souls. Everything's for sale.
Alright, so now we learn that souls are currency. Well, what are you selling?
What are you selling?
An orange guidance soapstone that allows us to write, view, and rate messages. Messages transmit to other worlds where they are rated. also rates the messages of others. In Lordran, the flow of time is distorted and messages allow undead to assist or deceive one another. Firebombs. Bisque urn filled with black powder explodes, inflicting fire damage. Relatively powerful ranged weapon, especially in situations calling for fire damage. A very precious item at low levels. Many warriors use these to augment their strategic repertoire. Throwing knife. Throwing knives have limited range and accuracy compared to arrows, but offer a quick and easy ranged attack. Undead who lack other means of ranged attack will do well to stock a few of these. And repair powder. Lightly enchanted golden powder repairs weapon equipped in right hand. Use of a weapon depletes its durability, eventually rendering it ineffective. Repair powder is a precious method of repair on the battlefield, as it obviates the need for a repair box. A repair box, you say? It's a specialized mortar used to repair weapons and armor by grinding repair powder. Rest at a bonfire to make weapon and armor repair possible. Repair powder is fragile and cannot be taken along. Alright, we're going to come back to this fella right here because he's got all kinds of stuff, but for right now, let's go ahead and buy that residence key. And we'll come back and we'll talk to him some more a little later.
Kindly.
He seems like a nice enough guy, Chant. Epi, no. Ooh. Hey! I thought you were dead. Jeez! What a bunch of jerks. How can repair powder be precious if you carry 99 of it with you at all times? Well, I mean, you're not supposed to. Hey, some throwing knives. Hey, what's up, Blue Mage? And Lucy, hello. We got a wooden shield. Vertically elongated wooden shield decorated with a white dragon. Wooden shields are lighter than metal shields, but with lower physical damage reduction and reduced shield stability. Well, okay. And we found our first bonfire in the Undead Burg. One of the best designed areas in a video game, in a FromSoft game, just period. Undead Burg is so good. It holds up so well. It's such a good area. It introduces you to all the mechanics you need to learn. It presents them in a fun and interesting way. It shows you ranged battle. It shows you physical, like melee combat. It shows you shields. It shows you a big guy. It shows you traps. It's just incredible. It's absolutely astounding how good this level is. I'm gonna go ahead and use this spot right here to split up the VOD, and so this will be like the end of, like, you know, part 1 right here. I appreciate y'all hanging out. I hope you're enjoying the playthrough. It's essentially just gonna be this for forever until we beat the game. It'll take a while, but lol. It's not like Elden Ring's. It's not like Elden Ring's out.